going.
Hello.
Hello.
So, Victor, I see today that your beard has become more beardly.
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah, so you're starting to get the Satan's point, or
Yeah.
peak, or whatever you want to call it.
It works.
Boy, that music goes on for a long time.
Yeah. You never notice it because we're usually just like.
Right, yeah, we're usually making very loud noises.
But
I really hope somebody's listening with headphones and then what you just did there destroys their eardrums so that they don't have to listen to the rest of this podcast.
clipping.
All right.
If I say clipping, it'll clip.
So the what the fuck, what the hell of the day is zombie. What if zombies attacked? What if large scale invasion of zombies happened?
Like we're talking full planet-wide apocalypse kind of shit.
Let's call it half the world.
Okay.
So it's like half versus half.
Well, realistically, once it hits half the world, I mean that's pretty much it. Because that's gonna spread so quick.
Yeah. But okay, so is it going to be a virus?
Isn't that how? Well, no. I guess there's like
like a cousin of rabies or something.
yeah, there's like that, or it's like, okay, what is? There's just like there's one theory that's like an alien thing,
Right.
and like
Isn't that what World War Z was?
I don't know.
Because I think
I didn't watch
World
it.
War Z, it wasn't actually
It looked shitty.
a virus. You didn't watch World War Z?
It looked horrible.
It wasn't bad.
Oh.
Anything with Brad Pitt's gonna be good.
Lately, Brad Pitt's. I see him in stuff, and I'm just like, no.
Really?
Yeah,
No, he's dreamy. He's dreamy.
he's dreamy in Troy. Like, if we could
That
just
was a good movie.
stay in that realm of.
But back to the subject.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that would be interesting. So I'm thinking half the world has it, half the world doesn't.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm thinking that, immunities. Let's say it's a virus one. Okay.
All right.
So immunities would probably exist to it. So there would be people also in the contagious world that are immune.
Yeah.
So they're fine. I don't know this. I guess this what the fuck, what if?
It just sounds like a real bad time.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it would be kind of one of those things where, well, okay, I guess, are you asking what would my personal experience be like, or just what would the human race do to solve these problems?
Let's go with personal experience because
Okay.
what the world would do to solve the problem seems kind of obvious.
I'd be fucked, probably.
Yeah.
Because I can't, I mean, are we talking like 28 days later zombies? Or
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, like they can run.
so I'm fucked. So yeah, like I lock the door on my apartment and just sit here and starve to death probably.
Do you have guns or no?
I have a shotgun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have bullets for the shotgun?
A few.
Yeah.
Not very many. I don't keep a lot in the tiny apartment with the 4-year-old.
Right. Yeah,
so.
that's a good plan.
Now, if I could get to Matt's house,
Right, then you'd be fine.
I'd be fine.
Because his parents have everything you need ever.
You could basically create a small militia
Yeah.
out of his parents'
Yeah,
place.
that's very true. Yeah.
So
Yep. So
I remember
they'll be fine.
I remember the ideal plan, because we had talked about this when we were in high school and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
was to like somehow get our asses out to the country to Matt's parents' old place.
When it was out in the country.
Yeah, he had like the gravel pits out there and
Yep.
stuff.
And then we would build a wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember those plans. Because then, yeah, we would build a wall around his place. And then basically there'd be enough ammo to, do what we needed to do. And then there's enough land that we could, farm it decently.
Yeah, maybe.
Within our wall.
Within our wall. We'd all get really good at agriculture really fast.
Right, yeah.
Crash course, go!
Yeah. And, well, we'd need my dad's workhorses then, too, though.
We could ride the horses to Matt's house.
Well,
Because
yeah.
won't the roads be just littered with bodies and dead in cars?
I suppose so.
Might
And
be kinda
actually,
tough to
those are
drive.
they're workhorses, so
Yeah.
they're big Belgians.
Yeah.
So riding one of those, like, oh my god, it would just destroy people as it ran. Like that would be. But
Now-
cars still have gas though.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the electrical grid would probably go down, but
Yeah.
cars would still have gas. So we would drive places.
Would the virus be transmittable cross species? Do you have
No.
so we don't have the potential of zombie horses.
No zombie horses.
Okay, that's probably good.
And it would be
That'd be
wouldn't
rough.
be an airborne either.
Okay.
It would be like rabies where you need
Like
to be
gnawed on a
yeah,
little.
it's liquids. So
Some liquids.
yeah, it'd be like AIDS. How AIDS is transmitted. That's how it would work.
So we just have to not make sure we don't bang any zombies.
Mhm.
We'll be fine.
Gross.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I'm glad we've established that.
Yeah, that-
Zombies are nasty, man.
That is gross.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, once you got half the planet down, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
are the right people still alive, whether they're immune
But
or what? Like that
People-
can, you know, have the
people-
resources.
people
to,
are really resilient though.
yeah.
Like I think even if like aliens came and started bombing the shit out of our world, right? Like they didn't have the ability to just blow up the whole world because that would kill everybody.
Yeah,
But
it's tough to beat that.
well, except for the people on the space station, I suppose. They just start
Ha, we
floating
live.
for like a week.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Go human race. Woo.
So,
we tried.
but even if like if okay, let's say nuclear warfare happened, right?
Yeah.
And everybody bombed the shit out of everybody. I think people would still live because people would go underground. You
Yeah.
know? And I don't know. Human beings are clever enough, and you know all that. I think we could probably survive just about anything.
Yeah.
Us and the cockroach.
I feel like, yeah, there's probably enough, like, resources and, like, underground bunkers already
Right.
in existence.
I mean, it would.
that,
We could become highly endangered, obviously.
well, yeah.
But there are resources in place, like giant bunkers under the ground that would have like the 10-minute, hey, stuff's blowing up outside.
Yeah.
Lock the doors.
Stay here for a
Yep.
while.
And you know they might have like 20 years rations too, so that
Yeah.
they can stay underground until, you know, all's good
God,
upstairs.
This just reminds me, what was that movie? It had, what's his name, Brendan Fraser in it or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it was that kind of scenario where it was right during the time when everyone had like basements and underground bunkers because everyone was paranoid of like nuclear holocaust.
Right.
So what was it? There was like sirens were going off, so this guy and his wife and his little kid go into their bunker and stuff, and a plane actually crashes and lands on the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
remember
the
that.
dad is just like, "Oh shit, it's happening! Nuclear
Yep.
holocaust! Lock the doors. They stay locked for 20 years,"
Mhm.
kind of thing. And so he grows up down there, and he's the most awkward little fuck ever.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that movie. Because then they come out, and the first thing they meet is
Like a punk skinhead or something
Yeah.
like that with piercings and tattoos. It's
yeah,
scary.
and they were like, "Oh, it's a mutant!" Ah!
It happened. It really happened.
Oh man,
It's fucking kind of terrifying. I guess I'd be terrified too if I'm like very 1950s
you know, you
prone
think
or
okay, so
something,
they had that bunker, right? You think that they would have realized that there was a bunker there when building?
all the stuff.
Yeah, like on top of it. You think that you would think that they would have been like, all right, let's get rid of this bunker and start drilling into it. And all of a
Hey,
sudden it's
people.
like, hey, look, people.
It's a family.
It's so cute.
They don't know what cell phones are.
Well, really back then they didn't know what cell phones were either, because that movie's old.
Yeah, that's like
I remember,
a 15-year-old movie or something.
Yeah, I remember watching that when I was
suppose.
like 5.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. Is like, you know, as a human race, going back to us as a species, like we had a long stretch of time where our like technological advances were slim to none.
Mhm.
You know, like it was just a little bit over a long period of time, and then you have the last 50 years, 60 years, where it's
Yeah.
just like
Computers and manufacturing, man.
yeah, like we just banged technology in the ass until it submitted and gave us
Well, and I think too,
hologram tablets.
a lot of the reason why there wasn't innovation back in the day was because, you know, you just did what your dad did, because that was your schooling.
yeah,
Your schooling was, hey, Dad, what do you do? Hey, son, follow me to work. Find a wife. There we go.
yeah,
You know, and so people probably, you know, the first guy who did it liked it, but then from then on, it was your trade. It was how you made money.
Okay, so here's a what the fuck, what if part 2 then. What if the Dark Ages never happened? Yeah.
Would there be more people, or not?
I
kinda
don't think
feel-
there'd
I don't
be
think
more
there would
people.
be, because up until when they figured out how to pull nitrogen from the air,
Yeah.
to make fertilizer, right? Well, to make pneumonia, and then they use
I
the
mean ammonia?
ammonia.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Pneumonia's
right.
I'm dying.
Yeah. So when they made the sickness pneumonia,
Yes.
no. So when they made ammonia, then they could use that to make fertilizer, which meant that land could make so much more food than it could before.
Yeah.
It's actually thought right now that half of your body is made up of food thanks to fertilization.
Hmm.
So
I believe it.
yeah. So and that was all because of this one guy in Germany who, after, or was it before World War One? Yeah, it was before World War One. He came up with ammonia, or he figured it out, and then because Germany was kind of running out of food to feed its people.
Yeah.
But now, because of that, we can have, 10 billion people on this planet.
I just wonder, like, gosh, I don't know, like, 'cause how long were the Dark Ages? Like, wasn't it a couple hundred years?
That's something we should definitely fact check.
Yeah. It was a while,
It was a while.
and it was so bad.
Well,
I thought about this the other day, and I was
well,
like, I
okay,
should look
wait,
up
wait,
stuff
wait.
about this.
Are
and I never
we,
did.
We're talking about the Great Plague, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so not just the Dark Ages in general, but the Black Plague itself.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah, because that killed, as far as Europeans go, didn't it end up killing like 3/4 of the population?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, we need to fact check this.
Yeah, that's probably not right, but that's fine. It's the concept behind it, because you think, like, I mean, let's say that the human race as a whole was set back, technology, engineering,
Yeah.
manufacturing wise.
Well, art was set back really badly too. Like,
yeah,
you can see art in the Dark Ages suddenly gets a lot more 2D and a lot less 3D.
yeah,
And that's because a lot of the great artists died at the time. So great art suddenly was a lot more.
great art was my stick figure.
Yeah, and then that caught on as being good art. So then people who still could do 3D art but didn't have a name for themselves, they started doing that because it's what was popular at the time.
Yeah, I wonder, like, because I don't know, like, you think about the technological advances in the past and how, compared to today, like, 100 years of leaps and bounds would equal a month of stuff today, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge difference. So I wonder, like, I mean, shit, if there was 500 years where we were just like, well, fuck, human race just gets stepped on. Like, we just don't progress at all, like,
Yeah.
as well as the artists, all the scientists, all the thinkers are, getting killed too and stuff. But when you think about that, does that only really set us back maybe like a couple months in compared to like our time now?
Well, no, because I mean you're still losing a lot of really great minds and a lot of great knowledge.
So do you think we would have
a
hit
lot
some
of-
stuff a little sooner maybe?
No, I think it would just be totally different.
Yeah.
I think like certain things would have never become, like maybe Ford never made his car,
Yeah.
and never founded Ford and never popularized the automobile. Maybe he wasn't born because of that. So now all of a sudden we're all using public transportation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the family car never caught on. You know, maybe the people who started pushing computers, you know, maybe like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, maybe they were never born. And maybe, you know, computers are just something that like big companies use, and personal computing is not really a thing. And, you know, like I don't know. I think a lot of big innovation is because of very certain people deciding, like, you know, as a society as a whole, we decide, well, there needs to be a solution to this.
Yeah.
But the way that we the way that we find a solution is usually one person comes up with a brilliant idea, but it's their interpretation on how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
You know, somebody else might have come along and been like, you know, oh, personal computers, that's kind of neat, but I would have made it so that it was all in one big thing, you know, and then it's all soldered together and it's an apple.
Yeah. Hey, I think that happened.
You know, I don't know. Like it could have been. I think we would be in the same place. We would just be in the same place with different technology, if that makes sense.
So it'd be more of like just kind of an alternate like scenario,
right?
Not necessarily us being like, you know, 5 years farther, like
right,
where
yeah.
we could be or something.
You know, and maybe our technological and scientific advancements would be held back, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know, maybe it would have made way for somebody else who was better, but wasn't given the opportunity for this, that, or whatever reason. You know, they didn't get that job at that place or whatever.
Well, I'm sure as a result
and
of
so,
like, you know, I guess like the biggest strides in technology come from necessity. Like, you know, the reason that we push that way is because there's a need for it kind of thing. So, like, they're the biggest ones and stuff. So, like, yeah, maybe we wouldn't have hit certain things at, like, when we did, like, because the necessity was maybe after, you know, the Dark Ages were over or something, and we needed to kind of start rebuilding and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
But as I was saying before, too, like, maybe somebody would have been given an opportunity that they didn't because somebody else was already in that place.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe we would be ahead 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, maybe our science, like, certain fields would be way better off because of this one individual, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, the personal computer is definitely something that has advanced scientific communities just greatly, because suddenly, you know, they can run experiments, you know, like they can put them in a computer lab and do it that way, you know.
Yeah, I suppose, like, we could end up just like with, I mean, yeah, you're talking about the people that made these big things happen and stuff. They could end up being, I guess they'd be different people that I think we'd still end up getting to kind of a similar point. Like, I think other people would probably come to similar scenarios. Well, but we could end up with situations where, like, let's say today, if it was different, we could be 50 years ahead of where we are now with, like, theoretical physics and stuff.
Sure.
Whereas we could also be, you know, 15 years behind in, like environmental, like, sciences and stuff, or something like that. Just depending on, like, who got put in those positions, like, and who took the ball and ran with it.
And on top of that, like, who gets put in power too, like, at the head of a government is always a big changer, you know, because, like, I hate to say this, but when Hitler was put into power in Germany thrived, you know, and suddenly there was a lot of innovation, and you know, there's a lot of information that we got out of German scientists that greatly help the world now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Hitler's a great guy. He's a dick, and I'm glad he's dead. But like for instance, the reason we were able to go to the moon is because we took all the scientists that were working on the V2 rockets that were bombing England.
Yeah.
And we used those scientists to make a rocket for us to go to the moon. So, you know, like rocket technology would not have happened if it wasn't for World War II.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Germany and all the horrible, horrible things that they did in order to do that, you know. So if you put somebody in power that is kind of innovation over people,
Over the survival of mankind.
yeah, then you know, innovation can be, but yeah, that's obviously not. I feel like people are gonna start.
Genocide, huh?
I feel like people are gonna start like.
So
cutting
Paul
out-
is like Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah, totally,
It's like,
totally.
yeah. Now how's that Nazi thing going? Great. It's great. It's fine.
Yeah.
God, I innovate so much, but I hate people with brown hair. It's like, goddamn, you and your Aryan master race.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My Aryan master.
You could be fucking Armenian. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm from northern Germany, Ireland. So, okay, so my grandpa was, I think, 100% Irish. My grandma was a little bit of Polish and then like a lot of German.
Mm-hmm.
And then me. And then my dad's side of the family is a mess. So,
Your dad's a mutt.
Yeah.
So you are more mutt.
yeah, but it's definitely the German in me that makes me look like this.
You know, up until like a week ago, I was completely sure that I was like 4 main things, because like my dad's parents, one was Irish 100%, one was Italian 100%, and I'm 25, so for the last 25 years my mother has been telling me that her parents, one was Greek and the other was like Norwegian or something.
Okay.
And
So you thought it was 100%.
so I thought, I was like, oh cool, I'm a quarter this, quarter that, quarter that, quarter that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then my mom is just like, well, actually, I'm actually kind of French and German as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure. And I was just like, my life is a lie. It's not that bad. But it's just like, what, did you just tell me it was easier when I was younger? Because it was less confusing.
Right,
It's just, it's
yeah.
probably it. But
Yeah, because I remember in school we had to figure out our ancestry so that we
Yeah.
could figure out our, like, how much of each thing we were, and mine was just a mess.
Mhm.
Like the Corgan side was pretty simple. The Montag side, though, holy shit!
it's
Wow, that
a
was a mess.
clusterfuck.
It was like French, Polish, Swedish, German, Irish. I don't know. There's like 60 different things in there, and it was all just like, the hell.
Dutch, Norwegian, ancient Macedonian, just all over the place. Like, what was that last one?
Neanderthalian.
I'm actually mostly Egyptian,
A little bit of cow.
but just like a little.
Just a
like there was
tiny.
I had one crazy great uncle. It's a little eccentric. It's
Well, if it was
fine.
your crazy great uncle, you wouldn't be related to him at all.
crazy great aunt,
No, crazy great aunt, it wouldn't be in your bloodline.
crazy great grandfather.
There you go. There you go.
I can has think.
Yes.
It's early. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you were up late playing your Vidger games.
Speaking of video games,
Vidger games. Wait, we need a thing for that. Okay. Vidger games.
get the video games.
Okay, perfect.
Sweet. Okay. No, I used my.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay,
what?
one more time. Vidger games.
Video games.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you gotta do the hand motions too.
We did that.
I need to get like a pad so I can make like things pop up on the screen and like flash. Video games. Oh god. So no, I
Brought to you by Doritos.
yeah, and Mountain Dew. God. No, I got I used my Christmas. I got like a gift card to Target and like
Yeah.
a little bit of cash. So I picked up NBA 2K15 yesterday. And they have they're so innovative. They have this technology. They use the camera for the console on the next gen console. So the Xbox One's Kinect,
Okay.
and the PS4 is just camera bar they have.
Mhm.
And then they actually have you like stand in front of the camera and then like rotate your head back and forth, and then they scan it and then they just superimpose it onto a player, so you can have your own guy, and then you can set his height, weight, like
Sure,
all that stuff.
Sure.
You can be very specific with like
What did it
his
do
profile.
with your beard?
it keeps it there. Like what they ask you to do is like they want you to make sure you don't have any of your actual hair in the shot. Like you like a beard is fine though. Like, and then you need to like get like from your right above your eyebrows to like right below your chin kind of thing. And then what they do is basically then you have a person that looks kind of like you, but like you can see that like there's a picture on a face of beard. But then they have actual like hair stuff in the game that you can add and kind of build to it. So it actually ends up looking really cool. The technology is really cool if like you do it perfectly.
Sure.
If you don't do it perfectly, it's kind of nightmare fuel. Because like if the lighting's not right or like your head is tilted a little bit, you could end up with like 3 eyeballs or something. It's a little scary. Like, and if you go too fast, sometimes your face is smeared and it looks like you're from The Ring or something like that. I did the face scan thing like I don't know 6 times last night trying to get a good one, and like every single time they like grade you on how many points they managed to get like on your face, and like if you get over like 5,000, then you might have a decent scan. If you get anything below that, it's probably gonna look like you are very deformed. I watched a YouTube video watching a guy do it to find out like what's like the perfect combo to do this. Turns out the best thing you can do is have a PlayStation 4 because the Xbox Kinect one is kind of shitty. Well, I'm kind of SOL in that situation, but you need like a disgusting amount of light. Like the guy was using like actual like photographer like soft lights and stuff like that.
The umbrella things.
Yeah, like really honking huge ones, and he actually held the camera about a foot away from his face, and then just like turned his head for it and stuff. But yeah, you can get like I think he said he got 9,000 points of like reference to build the face of, and it looked like really well too. So I finally got one that was decent, and then added in like facial hair and all that stuff. So it looked okay, but my first 2 scans. Like I didn't have my face fit in the spot correctly.
Sure.
Because I wasn't sure how much of your forehead they wanted. So I ended up having like all my forehead. So it ended up making it so like my eyes were kind of like lined up with like the base of my ears. And then I had like 7 inches of forehead. And it was just like because they had the forehead from the picture plus the forehead from the character, and it was just like, oh man, you need to go to the doctor. Like that's dangerous.
I wonder if that's how they made the characters in the game themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen like the developers. They do like basically it's the same concept, except instead of using a game console camera, they use like
a
machine that has 50 cameras in it and turns around you, and you just sit still and it scans the whole thing and stuff like that. And then from there, the developers then take it into their software and like do like finer tweaks and stuff, and all that with like the 3D rendering and all that crap. But I mean, it's still really impressive, like the fact that they do that. And then like I'd watched some YouTube videos where it's funny because the game is like leaps and bounds ahead of some stuff as far as like the technology, and that kind of stuff. But like they couldn't have their voice actors like read their lines right.
Really?
Yeah, because they made it so when you're going through like the career mode, you can try to get onto any team in the NBA, and they picked one person from every team in the NBA to come in and do like voice stuff.
Okay.
And that's like going to be your mentor and stuff.
Sure.
Well, it's funny when you have the subtitles on and the subtitles read and you actually listen to the guy stumble the line and then like sort of kind of get through it or change some words out, and they didn't bother fucking changing it. And it's just like, actually, can you redo that one? Because instead of saying basketball, you said hummus or something, and it's just like, it made no sense.
You gotta put the hoop in the hummus there.
Yeah, you gotta put the ball in the dance in the air.
I don't know why we went to Bill Cosby, but
we don't want to talk about.
No, we don't want to talk about Bill Cosby.
Anyway.
All right. One note on Bill Cosby.
Okay.
Fuck Bill Cosby. All right.
Okay. Nope. Now I have to say something. Someone came out and said, God, who was it? Oh, it was Judd Apatow.
Mm-hmm.
He came out and just made a little statement that was just saying like basically saying that all of the shows that he has coming up, like all of the venues should cancel shows and not have him perform there because that's just negative publicity for everybody and stuff, and it was just like, okay, well, I don't know. I think that's up to them.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
appreciate
is.
your opinion, but you know.
Right. No, I mean, it totally is up to them. But, I mean, they probably should, because it isn't, you know, he's kind of hated by America now.
Just a smidge.
But you know, it is honestly up to them, so.
What's with the corruption of, like, TV dads lately?
Yeah, because then there was Child Toucher from Seventh Heaven.
Stephen Collins.
Yep.
I saw an interview. He interviewed with Katie Couric. And it was one of those things where he explained that all of the events that took place happened before he even did that show. So it was a long time ago. Not making excuses or anything, but
Right.
because the thing is a lot of people were just kind of outraged because this comes out, and it's like, this guy was on a show with young kids,
Right. Yeah.
and like teenagers for fucking 10 years or
Right.
11 years or something. But you know, like there's no evidence that anything like bad happened while he was doing the show or anything.
Right.
He ended up just saying that he just hopes that the character he played on the show doesn't get tarnished by like what, you know, he had done
It did.
previously. And
I
that's the
can't-
thing, is it did. Like,
I
how are you
can't-
gonna watch that now? And
I
not think
can't
of
watch
that?
anything he's in
Yeah.
anymore, and because like he's on The Office.
Oh, is he?
He's Andy's dad,
Oh.
and then every time I watch it, I'm just like,
I saw one thing where he played a serial killer, so that was like, oh, that's fine.
yeah.
Still does a great job.
As long as he dies in the end.
He had said, Katie Couric asked him like what he thinks is going to happen with his career. Like, does he think his career is over? And
Well, it's dead.
well, he kind of said, he's like, you know, I hope it's not over. I feel like I'm only really getting good at acting now. So I'd hope to be able to, you know, still share that and stuff. And it's just like, no.
It's over. You're not gonna get a job.
You're done, son.
Yeah, it's kind of like Adrian Peterson. Like,
Yeah.
even after he's reinstated, no one will sign him. He's done.
No, yeah.
No, nobody wants that. Yeah, and
I don't know. The
That's what you
Vikings
get.
don't play very well, so
yeah, but
they'd be like, but he runs really well.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's done. Don't beat your kids.
Yeah. I made a horrible joke the other day, and I should share it. It has to do with beating kids.
Don't beat your kids. Here's a joke about beating kids.
The more you know. No, I heard something fall in Zeke's room, and I think you and Eric were here, or maybe it was
It must have been Matt.
It was Matt and Eric.
I was here.
because you haven't been here with Eric
Nope.
lately. Matt and Eric were over, and I heard something fall, and I went into his room, and he had torn down the like plastic thing you use to like turn the blinds and stuff, like you could like just
Oh,
the big
God.
stick.
Yep.
And I grabbed it from him, and I was like, "No, you can't take this down." Like I was surprised he didn't break it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of yelled as a joke, more for Matt and Eric's sake. It's like, "You are so lucky I'm not Adrian Peterson," because I had this really long like plastic stick, and I just hear Eric from the room, "No,
It's not very good.
It's not." And I was just like, "I know, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Like, I literally have no concept of when not to make a joke."
God.
Like, unfortunately, more often than not, I get the looks of, "I can't believe you just made that joke." And I was like, "I'm sorry. I did it for the laughs. I couldn't help it. It was so funny."
No, yeah.
But yeah, so I started playing that NBA game. And
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I had one game. I think I did a 10-day deal with like the Sacramento Kings or something. And
Congratulations.
thanks, you know, I didn't get drafted, but
Mm.
it's okay. I noticed that they only have 2 voice actors for the main character, your character. So it's either douchebag white guy or stereotypical black guy. So it's kind of like, I guess I'm gonna go with douchebag white guy.
You
'Cause,
racist.
Yeah, I know. Well, it would look so weird to have like stereotypical black guy voice out of like me. Like that just would seem odd.
Yeah, it's usually in games like that, like they don't have your player talk. You know.
Yeah, but this
Like-
has like full voice acting for
Yeah.
everybody,
Huh.
so it's kind of ridiculous because they have an assistant coach that follows you around for the most part. So like if you switch teams, he switches with you. So he does a lot of like the small stuff, like, you know, when you get called back in like out of playing and stuff like that, and you
Yeah.
switch out. He does little voice work there. They had Doc Rivers, who's one of the coaches in the NBA. I don't know if he's, God, who's he coaching right now? Was it the Clippers? I don't know. I'm not sure, but he ends up being like the main coach that you work with really whatever team you end up with.
Yeah.
He ends up being that guy. So because I think he was just one of the more like recognizable voices and guys.
Sure.
And he had the time and was willing to do it. So because everyone else is like, but I'd have to coach the basketball.
Right. And he was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So other than like the sketchy voice work, the gameplay is pretty fun. You know, it's not super like difficult or anything. I set the mode to easy just to like get started with it because I was just like I haven't played like a game that had to do with shooting a ball through a hoop in like 10 years. So, God, what was that? There was some game where like you could be
Showtime. NBA Showtime.
No, it was something like that.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
And NFL Blitz?
Yep.
Those games were awesome.
God, what was it? It was one where you could be like, God, what was it? It was like you played like street ball, kind of thing.
NBA Showtime.
It was like NBA Showtime. It wasn't that though. God, it just makes me think of that Def Jam wrestling game now, where it took all the rappers and just gave them the same game engine as one of the old wrestling games, and it's just ridiculous because you have guys doing triple backflips over kicking people's faces off. It was incredibly violent.
Interesting. You ever seen that GIF of Mario is a wrestler, and then so there's a wrestler with Mario's face and like Mario's body,
Okay.
and he's being held back by Luigi, and
Okay.
I think is it the yellow Pokemon Pikachu
That
is holding him
Pikachu?
back as well. And then Bowser is like, I'm gonna fucking hit you, and then they like start to fight, and then it cuts to Pikachu getting beat, like getting the shit kicked out of him by Charizard, like he's just in the corner, just like,
This is like the best Smash Bros. GIF ever.
yeah, but it's not Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It's It's like the wrestling engine,
Yeah.
but it's with all of those characters.
My God.
It's funny.
For the record, Smash Bros. Is amazing.
Smash Bros. Is amazing.
The new one is amazing.
Oh, then there's a new one, huh?
There's a new one. I got one of those little amiibo things that Nintendo's pushing. There's little like action figure things, and you can just set it on your like Wii U's like gamepad, and then it'll scan your character into the game, and it can level up, and you can give it like special items and outfits and things, and you can name it. So I have a Luigi named Django, and he kicks the shit out of everybody. Like he's way better than me and my brothers. Like he's just it's because we ended up doing a let's play on my brother's YouTube channel with that, and I think he's gonna put out a video in a few days with Django, and Django gets just oh my God, like he goes from level 1 to level 30 and just like wrecks face. And it's just like, this is a very strange mechanic. Where they just like, let's have you guys buy characters that can beat the shit out of you. Thanks, I guess. I don't know. But no, it's really fun. They have fucking a bazillion characters for the new game too. Like it's every character pretty much ever except, God, what was it? They don't have Solid Snake, but I heard he was going to be DLC. They don't have Mewtwo, but they're giving him away as DLC for anyone who bought the 3DS game and the Wii U game. So, but yeah, so you got your Jigglypuff and your Kirby and your Peach and everybody and their dog. So, it's pretty fun.
Huh.
It's good times.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at gaming wise.
Nice.
Have you played any new games lately?
No. I haven't gamed at all for a long time. Board games.
But we've been playing some board games.
Yeah. Playing,
a little bit of board games.
Seeing as Eric is back in town and he is the board game man.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you invite him over, he just comes with a bag full of board games. And it's not like Hasbro kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
like,
not Sorry and like...
Nope, it's like
A
basically
Bop It.
Dungeons and Dragons, but with minifigs and a board and all that kind of stuff and all sorts of crazy...
What was that one game we played? Like, we did like 3 rounds and it took 4.5, 5 hours. Arcadia, was that it?
Yeah, I think so.
That game was ridiculous. There's just
Oh,
so
it's
much to
so
it.
much fun though.
It's fun. It's just like if you're gonna do it, you commit to like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't really get anywhere.
Yeah.
That game's kind of chaotic. I want to get the.
Well, I heard that you kind of sucked at it.
Oh, I was horrible. See, my dice rolls
We're bad.
were the heart of the cards was not in my dice rolls.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Because how many times did you die?
Enough. I got pretty lucky because you get a curse every time you die, and
Yep.
almost every time I got a curse, it was I drew a curse card and it ended up being saying no curse.
Oh, nice.
So I got really lucky.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like Matt and I did horrible,
Yeah.
and then Eric and April like crushed. It's weird because you can kind of work together if you want,
Right.
but like there's definite perks to killing your friends.
Right.
So it's just like, oh my god, this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of a PvP meets PvE game.
Yeah.
Board game.
I was
And Eric painted all of them.
I saw that picture. He painted all of them. I
Very
was like,
nice.
when did you find the time to do this?
Yeah.
We were passing around the cards to decide what characters we were going to use, and I got the first set of cards, and it had Van Helsing in there,
Mhm.
but the Van Helsing card is just called Victor. So I was just like, well, I'm not even going to look at the other cards. Just take that one, pass him on. You know, like next, I got this. He was okay. He wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I had this one bitch who could she could ignore your defenses completely.
Yep.
That was insane.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize how amazing that was until like the third round,
Mhm.
and it was just like, oh look, kill everything,
Yeah.
because you can't defend yourself. And I gave her a ton of like power.
Nice. Yeah, we started playing a game last night, and I got 2 tanks,
Yeah.
and then a magic wielding guy that can move wherever he wants without.
Without aggroing anybody, or
Yep.
Was that Mist?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that was one of the guys.
Yeah.
This is like high-end nerd
Mhm.
right here.
High end
It's
nerd.
good stuff. To be fair, that game is actually like to get all the stuff with it is like, I think because Eric said it was a Kickstarter,
Uh huh.
and he pitched into the Kickstarter to get like
And it
the
was, like,
deluxe. It's like $200.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I kind of want to spend the money.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of very amazing.
I still need to get the expansion for Pandemic. There's 2 expansions. I just want to get the main one,
Yeah.
like at least, because I have the one.
And Pandemic, by the way, is a game where there's an epidemic going on, or a pandemic going on, and you try with everybody. It's a cooperative game. You try
Yeah.
with everybody to get rid of the
Get rid of the diseases.
diseases. Yeah.
It's we actually beat it the night when Matt and Eric were over,
Nice.
which that's the first time I think I've beaten it just straight.
Oh, really?
Like, because it's always one of those things where you never get beaten by the pandemic. You get beaten by the fact that you like run out of cards to draw or
Yeah.
something like that. And that would always happen. It's just like, oh, you're out of cards, game over.
Yep.
You lose, and it's just like, no.
Right.
But yeah, I need to get the expansion because it adds that 5th disease, which makes it a little tougher.
Yeah. See, I think the first time I played it, we won, and so I thought that it was pretty common to win that game.
No.
And then all of a sudden, it was just like, no, not at all.
Not so much. It's God, it's tricky. It's a tough game. Like I that's why it's so fun. I think
Mhm.
is because you're more likely to lose than win. So
Yeah.
you actually have to be like on the ball and like strategizing really in depth.
Well, sorry. And the fact that it's cooperative,
Yeah.
so either everybody wins or everybody fails, I really like that.
Well, and there's certain like because everyone gets like their own role and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did just random draws just to see what roles we'd be, and we didn't get the medic and we didn't get the scientist. So figured we were kind of SOL.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting a dispatcher, which was amazing because we could just move people wherever, like move people to each other.
Mhm.
So it was really easy to cure diseases. And then Eric was, I don't know if it was like a researchy guy or something. I don't remember what it was called. Contingency planner, maybe?
Okay.
But he was able to pull like the certain cards out of the graveyard kind of
Yep.
thing and use them again and stuff. And God, what was it? Matt could like prevent outbreaks. Like if anything was near him, it wouldn't outbreak. It wouldn't even get a disease tokens and stuff.
Mhm.
It's not time. Alarm. Calm down.
Wake up, Victor.
I'm awake. No, that game's really fun. I'm excited. I never tried the second expansion, so I have no idea what
that's all about.
I don't even know. I think it gives you like a different playboard or something.
Huh.
I'm not even sure.
That'd be cool. Eric also has this zombie board game that he told me
Zombie.
it would take up my entire living room if we set the whole thing up.
Oh.
So I want to do that.
So why aren't we doing that now?
I have no idea.
That's the problem.
Mhm.
No, we were playing Arcadia on like this table,
Yeah, that's a pretty small table.
and this is not a big table for
Yeah.
Arcadia's sake.
Yeah.
We made it work, but we had like a second table like next to Eric, so we could have all the extra pieces sitting over there.
Very nice.
No, I just ordered I ordered 3 expansion decks for Super Fight.
What is Super Fight?
We played Super Fight. Remember, it was the card game, like
Oh,
Cards Against
yep, yep,
Humanity,
yep,
kind of.
Yep.
I have the nerdy expansion deck, which just adds a ton of nerd references, and then I have the rated R expansion deck, which is very self-explanatory. But I got the other 3.
What are some cards in the rated R?
Butt sex. I don't know. I don't
Oh.
remember offhand. It's R-rated stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So well, it was like the Lube Fire Hose card. I'm pretty sure is.
A loop fire hose?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in the R-rated deck. But I got the other 3 expansion decks because when I initially got the game, everything was sold out.
Yeah.
So they made a huge influx of stock for Christmas. So I was able to order the other 3 decks, and there's there's a blue deck which every single time you do a fight, you lay down a blue card, which is where you fight.
Oh, okay.
So that can drastically change your
Right.
stuff if you're fighting like a giant versus Iron Man or something, and the card thrown down is Deep Space, and it's like giant suffocate, die.
Yeah.
Like kind of thing. So that like definitely changes up stuff quite a bit. And then I got there's the green deck, which it says G on it, and it's G rated stuff. So it's the opposite of the R rated deck. It
So
adds,
it's like Pokemon.
yeah, it adds like some more family friendly stuff. So I figured, well, we should probably have those in with the R rated stuff, because then it'll just be like Pikachu getting raped in the ass by Kirby or something like that. Like,
Right.
really sad. There was one more deck, I don't remember what it was for, but it looked cool. So I was just like, purple deck. Yeah, let's add that in and see what the fuck it does. I think it added like stipulations to scenarios,
Okay.
like on top of the stage,
Oh,
like the
okay.
blue cards. Like it added like more specific stuff, like, oh, and by the way, you both don't have arms or something like that. So
Very
yeah,
interesting.
so we'll have to play it once I get those, and then it'll be probably more ridiculous than
Mhm.
before.
Sure. All right. Well, want to thank everybody for listening today.
It's a podcast.
The podcast.
It's a podcast.
I guess. Later.
Yeah. Goodbye.